So there's tons and tons of ways to customize your mesh. And one of those ways is to make your woven wire edged. So what does that mean? I'll explain everything, so stick around. Hey there, what's up? My name's Andrew Kotlar, and the advances in technology on a daily basis are enabling countless industries to innovate their solutions. And helping revolutionize some of those processes, edged woven wire components have become increasingly popular amongst woven wire users. But what exactly is an edged woven wire component? Here at WS Tyler, we understand your need to implement innovative components into your process to stay ahead of the competition. This is why we leverage our 150 years of woven wire experience to help you make informed decisions. So in this video, we'll go over what an edged wire component is, how woven wire is edged, why edge your woven wire components, and any possible drawbacks for edged woven wire. Woven wire is a screening material fabricated by interlocking hundreds of metal wires during a centuries-old weaving technique. Because of the nature of this process, the edges of the mesh are raw and usually sharp. To create components with smoother, safer edges, the woven wire undergoes an edging process. So, edged woven wire is woven wire outfitted with a rolled edge or border. It's typically applied when the component requires enhanced structural integrity, aesthetics, and safety. So there's two primary methods used to edge woven wire components. There's rolling and bordering. And just like with any value-added process, the method that's applied to your specific component is dependent on the parameters of the application. Rolling the edges of your woven wire components involves bending the exposed wires along the perimeter of the mesh until a rounded or rolled profile is achieved. A specialized rolling tool is generally used to ensure consistent edging. So prior to rolling the edges of your mesh, factors like wire diameter, alloy, and again the application are used to fine-tune the rolling process. Applying a border to the edges of your mesh entails attaching a separate element around the component's perimeter. This is typically a frame-like element constructed from a similar alloy as the mesh. This frame is fitted along the edges of the mesh components and welded to the mesh, which gives you a durable, seamless bond between the mesh and the edged border that's created. When woven wire is first woven, the edges consist of exposed wires that are pretty sharp. So there's a risk of injury or other accidents when handling or implementing the raw woven wire. Edging your woven wire smooths these sharp edges, reducing the chances of these injuries and accidents. But safety isn't the only benefit of edging woven wire components. Edging woven wire components can also improve the structural integrity of the component. Problems like fraying and distortion can be a concern since the wire edges can snag on objects, potentially causing them to shift. So edging woven wire works to solidify the positioning of the individual wires, preserving the precision of the mesh openings. Performance aside though, edging woven wire can also be used to improve the aesthetic properties of your woven wire components. Edging your woven wire mesh delivers a more premium look, regardless if you apply a rolled or bordered edge. This can be critical when attempting to assure your customers that they're buying a quality product that they can rely on. Whether the rolling method is used or a border frame is applied, more material is required to compensate for the rolled material in order to maintain the desired component profile. When applying a bordered edge, the frame itself is a non-mesh fixture that requires additional material to fabricate. Both processes are inevitably reflected in increased labor costs as well. Naturally, with more material used during the fabrication of edged woven wire components, they'll weigh more than a typical woven wire component. At the same time, edged wire components are bulkier than your average wire mesh components as well. And this can affect how easily the component can be handled, as well as how it fits within the desired application. When it comes to maintenance, having your woven wire component edged can hinder the component's ability to be cleaned. This is because the edging process creates additional crevices that can trap debris in hard to reach areas. And one of the biggest drawbacks is that the edging process can potentially limit the mesh specifications that are used. If your application calls for the use of fine mesh specifications, welding a frame border becomes harder as the welding process could potentially burn through the fine wires of the mesh. On the other hand, if your application calls for rigid specifications, the rolling process becomes harder to control as the diameter of the wires gets thicker. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, fill out a contact us form so we can answer your specific questions. Just click the link in the description. And if you'd like to learn more about woven wire mesh or our many products, we have a learning center filled with written and video content to make you an expert. Just click that second link and you'll be that expert in no time. And don't forget to click the subscribe button and ring that bell to keep up with all things W.S. Tyler. Once again, my name's Andrew Kotlar, and I'll see you around in the next video. Bye for now.